To give you a little bit about my background, I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, schooled in Covenant University for the first part of my university, and then I transferred to the UK. But I definitely started writing music. I started writing music while I was in high school. I went to St. Greg's College, Obalende, Ikoyi. And I started like making music back then. So by the time I got to Covenant, like I was like super into music. I wasn't even paying attention in class like that, you know. But somehow like, you know, I got transferred, and that's when I wrote Tonight. My first year in the UK, I kind of put that song out. And it was just on SoundCloud. I think in 2015, 2016, it was just on SoundCloud. It wasn't on any DSPs. But people just found it, and organically, you know, it grew to what it was. But yeah, that was like a brief summary of how I started music.
My girl, she got a gun in her hand, and she keeps one in her man. Baby girl, I know what I did. You ain't gotta run the amount.
Man, you know, being able to become a full-time musician from, you know, from just a song like Tonight, being in school, was amazing because I had more of an educational history with my life. Like I wasn't like a cool guy or whatever in school. I just liked music, and so like jumping from that kind of history, like being in school almost all your life, to being a full-time entertainer, because entertainer is what it is. You have to be entertaining. You have to be able to jump on stage and do whatever. It's just like two different worlds. So just thank God that, you know, people really just like the sound, that they didn't really care about all the other stuff. But with time, you have to actually learn, because it is part and parcel of what you're doing. But yeah, it was amazing, man. Working with MI, working with Mr. Easy, Malik Berry, Jules. These are like the GOATs. So I'm really grateful. Basically, I had been putting out music. I had been like trying to figure it out, because obviously like I said, I have very little history or knowledge about how music actually works. I thought it was literally just recording your music and you put it out, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. You need like a team, you need a lot of money to promote your music, all that stuff. So I kept on recording music, I kept on like putting out music, but it got to a point where, you know, I am touring, making music, mixing, mastering, recording. I was like totally spent, and I wasn't really, you know, like sometimes you put out music, and it does really well. Sometimes you put it out and doesn't do well. But that's like, you know, it's a game, it's business. So I decided to like take some time off, re-strategize, rethink, maybe get partnership with like a label that can help out. Like just kind of like fix things the way I thought they needed to be fixed. And it led into the pandemic, so everything was like shut down, like everything was like super slow. But I had a deal in the works, which finally ended up working out towards the end of the pandemic. So we got a deal with Universal and Def Jam US, and I said, okay, now guys, this is the game plan. You have to come back really strong. Like everything is to just be, you know. But yeah, we're here now, and I'm really grateful. So When It Blooms is my first album ever. You know, I've been doing music for a while. Like I said, I remember doing music in school, coming with like my phone. Like I would play, my friends would gather around me in school, and I would play them like this song I recorded on my sister's laptop, or like in one shady studio. And they would be like, yo, this is what. So imagine all those moments leading up to now, like I'm dropping my first album, like this young kid, just like releasing this project. This project was really inspired by, you know, all the great albums I've heard, Wizkid's Superstar, you know, Drake's Take Care, because those albums talk about their lives. Like when you listen to Superstar, you hear Wizkid say, one shirt and that same shoe. Like he's talking about his struggle. Drake's Take Care talks about arguments with his mom, his life. I wanted to put that same feeling in an Afrobeat kind of album. So like I talk about my journey too. Like I talk about things that I've been through on the project, but it's still a vibe. Like you can still vibe to it, you know. And I just think like people appreciate it. So we're here. Let's do it. The most interesting feature on this album is Zeno Lesky. Zeno is too crazy. Like we actually the song is called Lock Up. So I actually recorded this song like a year after Tonight had taken off in 2017. Tonight had taken off. So 2018 I recorded the song. but it was very like Afro beats for what I was creating at that time. I was creating like very slow music, so I was kind of scared. I was like, I can't drop this, I can't drop this job, no way. But I sent it to Fowles at the time, 2018, and Fowles really liked the song. Like he sent me a message saying like this, he really messes with this, but I was still kind of scared. So fast forward now, 2020, last year, 2022, I sent it to Zeno's manager, and like next thing I get is like a video call from Zeno vibing with his verse, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So yeah, super interesting feature, but he absolutely killed it. He killed me on the song actually. So yeah, I'd say the most difficult song to record is the last song on the project because it's super emotional. It's a song called Thankful, which is inspired throwback to Wizkid's shout outs. Like I said, I took a lot of inspiration from Wiz's first album. Wizkid's shout out where he's shouting out his guys, he's shouting out everyone that helped him in the industry. Similar vibe on that song, Thankful. So I'm thanking everyone that's been a part of my journey on that song. And I actually even have a voice note for my mom, which is very, very hard to get. I have a voice note for my mom on the project where she talks about my journey and all that. So it was very emotional. And every time I hear it, like I had the label meeting where they listened back to the album, I still started crying. I'm like, guy, I thought I was a hard guy to know, Jesus. So like, yeah, like the album is like, it's super, super personal, but yeah, that's the hardest one.
Yo, what's up, people? Everyone that's been tuning in from day one till now, you know the vibes. We're getting into the mixes right now, so you know, like finalizing. I know I said finalizing the previous episode, but this is part 2 finalizing. So
this is the final.
This is the final.
Sir.
Yeah. So keep watching. Let's go.
Yes, so like I mentioned before, Wizkid's Superstar, Drake's Take Care, and Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morales, and the Big Steppers. I took from that. He's also kind of personal on that album, but what I took mostly was the arrangement of how Kendrick arranged his album. So you will listen to the album, you will listen to certain songs, and the next thing to just switch up to something else. So like in Lock Up with Zeno, from nowhere we're talking about this babe and we're talking about guys to shut up. Then the next thing just switches to me saying like, I never see Potako for 12 years, you know? So like there's a lot of moments in there that I took from Kendrick's album where like it switches to something more personal. I think people really enjoy that because it's very different for what we do. I want them to feel a connection to me. I want them to feel like they know me. You know, like you said, like a lot of people know the music, but like they're not too sure about the background. So this album is there to fill the gap. And looking back like years later, I want people to like see that, oh, you know, this Nonso guy, this is how I feel like I know him, and this is the album that made me actually like really mess with him. You know, it's super personal, so I'm like, sometimes I get nervous, like, yo, what if? But honestly speaking, like I feel like it's the right move because like it's very different from what we're used to getting in the Afro space, you know. So yeah.